This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Lamont Roach Jr. over Zoom. Lamont, first and foremost, how is life for you? How are you doing?
Life's going good, man. I'm just getting ready, taking a day at a time, getting ready for this fight, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Obviously, it's good to know that obviously you're in good spirits ahead of your ring return on October 30th. Just talk to me first and foremost, Lamont, about kind of this past year or so since you last fought. How have you found kind of having such a prolonged period away from the ring?
Well, this period away from the ring is by force, not by choice. So, we're in strange times right now. I just been making the most of, the early part of quarantine, as far as like after the fight got postponed and things like that. I never got out of shape. I stayed in the gym, in the makeshift gym in the basement, working out and stuff like that, staying in shape. So, right now I'm just very fortunate to, be able to compete and be able to provide for myself. So, because I know a lot of people isn't getting this opportunity like I am.
Lamont, when you look back over certainly these past 8 months or so when the pandemic really started to take a hold around the world, are you on the kind of the side of the fence which is thankful for having time to be able to spend at home doing more work, or are you on the side of the fence which is frustrated because you've lost 8 months of your career for something which is completely out of your own control?
Pretty much straddling the fence. I'm thankful that none of my family is sick, and thankful that I got to spend more time with them. Under these circumstances, and it gives me a feel for life, because other than that, I'm always working. I don't get to spend as much time with them as I want to while I'm training. So that's a good thing. But the other thing is I was itching to get back in the ring, and I still am. So I miss it. I've been out of the game. Well, I've been out of the ring for, I want to say, the longest period of my boxing career so far.
Lamont, let's obviously move on to your ring return on October 30th. You've had this extra time to work on things. I'm sure it's not been ideal, but you've had the time away to be able to work on what you've wanted to. What should everybody be in store for when you return there?
Just to be, they should be ready for me to be, more vicious. Things that we need to work on that would have helped me in the Jamel Herring fight. We're going to show and we're going to prove that, we went back to the drawing board, and, we're ready. After this fight, even though we're not overlooking him, we're going to implement in this fight what we need to implement with guys that are world class as well.
Just touch on your opponent for October 30th, and what do you know about him and what are you expecting from him?
We know he's a short guy. We know that he's tough. He's been in there with credible opponents that are world title challengers or were world champions or went on to become world champions. So we know he's game. We know he's ready, or he'll be ready. But I'm definitely going to be too much for him. I'm looking to look spectacular that night.
We know that you've got those ambitions to fight for another world title, to become a world champion in the near future in your career. But given the kind of the vast achievements that you had as an amateur, from the moment you turned over as a professional, did you always feel like there was an added pressure on yourself to go on to achieve great things in the pro ranks?
I don't think there was any added pressure. I think that's I think that's where we envisioned ourselves. So we're right here in the right spot. I think our career moved like we wanted it to. Succeeding my amateur career and putting me in tough fights, getting me ready for world title fights like I had with Jamel Herring. So, I wouldn't say added pressure. It's just, that's somewhere we need to be.
Just reflect on that Jamel Herring loss for me, Lamont. What have you learned from that fight?
Well, basically, we learned that, we got to take advantage of what's in front of us, like a split second. Boxing isn't going to hand anything to you. And, fighting Jamel on a top-ranked show on a, Veterans Day weekend, which is a weekend that supports him and what he used to do as a Marine, it's the cards is already stacked against us. So we're going in there with that mindset that we need to come out of there way higher with do more than what they expect so that I can secure the win. And because we know that boxing isn't given. Wins in boxing aren't given. You have to earn them. And Jamel's a great champion, and taking the things that I've learned in the ring, sharing the ring with him, it's just made me an overall better fighter.
Lamont, when you return on October 30th, do you feel there will be any sense of kind of ring rust from yourself, certainly for maybe those first few rounds at all?
No, not at all. We've been sparring. Thankfully, we've been safe. We haven't tested positive for the coronavirus. We checked temperatures in the gym. I've been sparring with good competitive sparring. One of my main sparring partners have been Isaac Dogbe. And he's actually fought the guy that I fought and beat him. So, I appreciate him. That's my guy. I appreciate him for giving me all the rounds he did. We've been sparring since the early part of the year.
You move forwards, and let's say that hopefully for yourself, Saturday, October 30th as well. It'll be Friday, October 30th.
Friday.
Goes to plan, yeah. Provided that goes to plan and you're victorious, how far away from another crack at a world title do you feel you are, Lamont?
I don't feel like we're far at all. That loss to Jamel shouldn't have been a huge setback. It shouldn't have been a huge setback at all. And honestly, we wanted to fight guys that are either on our level or world championship status anyway. We didn't really want to take this fight to get us back in the groove of things. We wanted to get straight into it. So, but we're going to take advantage of this opponent, look good. It actually came in, it came to be good because, we've been out of the ring for so long. So this opponent is perfect for us to, establish ourselves again in the 130-pound division.
When you consider the current champions at 130 pounds, who do you see as kind of the number one in the division currently?
I don't know. That's tough. They all have different styles. Like Burchell, he's offensive machine. Jamel Herring is the tallest champion at 130. Southpaw, good boxing skills. Jojo Diaz is short, southpaw, good boxing skills, but he can fight. He's offensive as well. And then you have Leo Santa Cruz, who had one fight at 130 for that title. He's a classic Mexican fighter, and he has his hands in tough. October 31st with Javon Davis. So, I don't really look at them. I don't really look at them and rank them myself. I just look at them as all, great fighters. And hopefully they fight, or hopefully they fight me. So something, what I'm saying? So they can find out who's really the number one. That's what I want to see, unifications.
What do you think it is? This is something which I ask a few people, and a lot of kind of boxing fans always want to know more. With regards to unification fights, what do you think it is that it's so hard to kind of get them over the line because of the different politics involved in sport?
Business. Everybody. Business. If people don't know, I'm going to tell you now, it's money. That's the only reason why champions aren't fighting each other. And they be like, hey, I made this such and such some fight, but why am I not getting this? Or they're making this much money, why am I not getting this amount of money? At the end of the day, it's greed. And it doesn't. That's when, the respect for boxing goes out the window, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and I understand. So that's why some of the big fights really don't happen, because of the money.
Lamont, there's just a couple of fights I want to touch on with yourself, which I'm sure you'll be keeping a close eye on in your division. You mentioned the Leo Santa Cruz and Javon Davis fight the day after you fight. Just break that down for me, Lamont. How do you see that one playing out?
I think Tank will win. He's a very big puncher, and he's faster. He's a lot faster than people think. He's a lot faster than people think, and he has a better boxing skill and better boxing IQ than a lot of people think as well. So I think Leo been being a little tough that night. The only way I see it going Leo's way is if Tank gets tired, and I doubt it. He's going to be in good shape.
I know you fought Javon Davis as an amateur. Do you think that at one point in your careers you two will cross paths at some point?
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I think it'll be a huge fight. I think it'll be a big, huge fight. We're from the same area, essentially. He's from Baltimore, and I'm from DC. Like, here is a way, like, it's a little far, but like an hour. But to the world, we're close. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know him. He's a friend of mine. So I'm pretty sure if he's champion and I'm champion, and we'll definitely fight each other for unification, just off the simple fact that, we can help each other provide for each other, because this is how we make a living. And people want to see the best fight the best. Even if I'm not champion yet, and he has a championship at 130, I think that would be a good match as well.
Another fight which I'm sure you're keeping a close eye on is Jamel Herring, your past opponent, when he faces Carl Frampton. Waiting for obviously news of the official announcement of it, but certainly seems to be that will be the next bout for the pair of them. Again, just break it down for me, Lamont. How do you see that one playing out?
I think Jamel uses length and his boxing skills, to outbox Frampton to a 12-round unanimous decision. I think people see that fight that he just had, and think he was, in pretty rough, and they're thinking that, Frampton is a better fighter than Akendo, which he is. He definitely is. But, styles make fights, and Carl Frampton doesn't have a bruising style like the guy that, like Okendo. Jamel Herring is very good at what he does. He's a champion for a reason, and people are going to see that. He's going to use that length, and he's going to use them boxing skills against Frampton, because I think Frampton is just a tad too short.
And my final thing, Lamont, we've got a huge undisputed lightweight unification fight this coming weekend between Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. Just how excited are you for that one? He's certainly got a lot of people in the boxing world talking. How are you expecting to see that fight work?
I'm very excited for that fight, man. I can't wait. I'm every day I'm like, damn, is it Saturday yet? I can't wait for that fight. I think Lomachenko will win with all his experience, his skills, his grit. Lomachenko has a lot. He's one of the best fighters in the world for a reason. But don't get me wrong. I'm with Teofimo. I want him to win. I want him to be the young champion that's the unified, undisputed lightweight champion of the world. He's from the States. We came up in the amateurs together, even though we didn't fight. I seen him and we seen each other. But I'm pulling for him. I hope he wins. But it's a tough task, man. Lomachenko is a beast defensively, offensively. He's always in shape. He's strong. He doesn't have that many knockouts and stoppages for nothing. And it's hard to see Teofimo outlasting him or outboxing him. The only way I see Teofimo beating him is by knockout.
Lamont, we will leave that there now, and we'll leave you now to crack on with the rest of your day. But as a final message to the 130-pound division, what would you like to say to everyone?
Oh, I'm coming. They know. I'm coming. I'll be there. If I don't come up in conversation, then I'll make sure I do. We'll make sure that Oscar and Robert get out to certain camps and take.
Lamont, it's been a pleasure to speak to you tonight. But tonight over here, I know it's not tonight where you are. It's about midday. So I'll leave you now. Thank you for your time, and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
All right. Thank you, man.